Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SSRG and your view. 2 days ago, I saw a video where a Russian man who is living in Ghana would go to uh, a grocery store and see a Ghanaian woman, and he would just be like, "Do you want to get out of here?" And the Ghanaian woman would follow him to his hotel room, and he would ask her to dance and blah blah blah. And I went to the comment section hoping to see people outraged by this, but the comments were just like things that were very irrelevant. So it got me thinking, like, and this connects to what we will be discussing today. How does the media, social media specifically, but I know that other media also play a role, but how does the media continue the colonization of Africa? Because for a lot of people, they think colonization is a thing of the past. But I tell you that colonization has continued and it has taken different shapes and forms. Some people will call it neocolonialism, but I still think colonization has continued. So I'm going to start by asking colleagues, folks, how do you think the media contributes to continuous colonization?
Thank you for that question, Prince. I'm really interested in this topic because this is something that has been pissing me off for a very long time. And finally, I have the opportunity to
Grant.
I have the opportunity to talk about it. So thank you for the opportunity. But the irony here is that when we talk about this, one thing I've observed is that we are the ones using the media to reinforce this colonialism. We have a lot of dimensions to it, which we will also talk about. But this particular dimension, this is where I want to start from. We do these things to ourselves, maybe without even knowing it. And how do we do this? Because of the kind of things we post on social media all the time. All the time, when I see content from Africa, you always see the worst part of Africa online. This is what we do. And I feel people do that because they feel like doing that gives them more
More
engagement.
views.
So, yeah, so exactly. So when we do this kind of thing, what does it tell the colonizers? That yes, without them, there is problem in Africa. We cannot manage our own life and everything. And when other people from Africa, especially the younger generation, see it and they compare it to what they see in the West, they strongly believe that we are inferior. This is the implication. We feel that everything in our own country, because of the way we project them, especially on social media, that it is substandard. So let me stop here for now.
Yeah, I would say, Emmanuel, first of all, that Africans didn't start putting the worst part of Africa online. It's not us. That's the much population that do it are the people that visit us. I remember a book I just finished reading this January. It was Dream Count, where there is a travel journalist. She's African, and then when she travels to Africa and she writes about her experience and writes about all the good life and all, she sends it to a publishing house in the West and tells them that they should publish, and they'll be like, no, this is not Africa, this is not the real Africa. I mean, what do you mean the real Africa? And she'll be wondering, but this is her story, this is what she saw, this is her encounter. You are telling her you want the real Africa. And if you dig in, we all here, because I can't say that and perpetuate that nonsense, we all here understand what they mean by the real Africa. And that is just the story they want to hear. They will come and then go to tribes that their culture is still cherished in some way. Some people are still preserving some parts of their culture, leave the place that they could show the world, and then show that culture in a way that makes it inferior to whatever they think is the standard. And that is, it really pisses me off. It pisses me off in a way, and I think it should be illegal to video that and put it anywhere without any rights to those things, especially when you want to portray it in that light. So yes, that is just really insane. And if anybody is
What
watching that,
what you are
stop that
saying,
nonsense.
what you are saying, Fidel, just just reminded me of something. So the thing is that this social media thing is very sensitive and it's a strong factor because
Yeah.
there are research evidence. The research has shown that one of the ways, the reason why this neocolonialism is continuing is because social medias prioritize Western, like the social media algorithm prioritize Western contents.
Push
This is
it. Yeah.
proven, and we are going to share the research. We're going to share them. So, because Western contents are the priority of this algorithm, I don't know how this algorithm thing works. Then they continue to portray more things.
Is it also because
Yeah,
we also, as Africans, buy into that content? Like, because if someone tells you your name is Ima and you disagree that your name
yeah.
is Ima, you push out and tell the person, oh, my name is not Ima. At least it limits that narrative about you being Ima. So I feel like there's an internalized colonialism that's also going on within the African context. So the outsiders, I think the outsider have the major blame in terms of showing Africa in the bad light. And moreover, also thinking that Africa is a monolithic group where they tell you what's the language you speak in Africa, as if Africa is just one country and all whatnot. But
Can I say something?
Yes,
Mhm.
you can.
There are a number of articles, and I'm going to mention just two. So there is one that was published by Oxford Academy. It says Intellectual History of Digital Colonialism. And there is another one that says colonization of the internet. So if you read these articles, they try to talk about how the internet is used to design the world and push, like Imad rightly said, Western content and certain content gets more interest. So if they want to push a narrative, the algorithm is designed to support certain narrative. And I remember one time my friend was writing their thesis, and because the study was done in Africa, they found out that people in their committee wanted them to talk more about poverty and suffering in Africa. And then they said that they're not going to align with that poverty porn. That's how they described it. But it aligns with this whole narrative. It started with like CNN. Every time in the past that CNN
Yeah.
wants to portray Africa, it is the negative
Poverty.
part of Africa.
A child that the lungs are out, that is
Yes. So
malnourished.
in one of my presentation, I showed the image of children who were starving during the Biafran Civil War. And that picture was very powerful because it drew Western attention to what was going on during the Civil War.
Yes.
However, that picture also have become a stick for Africans to receive beating because it has been used to frame Africa continuously from 1966 till now. So it has continued being like that. And I remember recently somebody was making a video go in the US, capturing the worst part of the US because the person was trying to do a parody of what Westerners do when they go to Africa. So he was even like trying to interview homeless people on the street and
Yeah.
people who are suffering from drug use and all
Yeah.
that. I'm not saying it is a good thing, but this shows the velocity of the problem we are talking about. Is
When we
that certain
speak
things get
things.
attention on the
Yeah.
internet, and
Yeah.
the continuous bringing down of Africa is one of those things that the algorithm have been designed to push.
Yeah.
A lot of a lot
It,
of Westerners also, these people that claim to be tourists that go to Africa, or the people that claim to be volunteers or do charity work, that they carry their luggage and travel to Africa and start
yeah.
taking picture of all the ills of Africa. And they claim that they love the African culture. That is wrong for me because I don't see these people go to take pictures of the finest places in Africa. You could still be a lover of Africa and try to show the good part because I know that we are not going around in Europe showing some flaws because there are a lot of flaws too that people could go take pictures and start uploading them.
Social
Yeah.
justice as a social worker is also telling the story of people, no matter how you help them, in an empowering way. I also like intervene to help
Yes.
people. You
Yes.
don't tell their stories in a way that makes them still be vulnerable or
Right.
regret ever receiving help from you. You tell that story in a way that is empowering. I wanted to share a personal story from the kind of reference Prince made. This is me. I did a presentation about Nigeria because it's become a point of duty for me to show Nigeria and to so many other parts that they don't know, because they really don't know, and it is alarming how much these people don't know and they claim to know. And when I finished the presentation, everybody was amazed. Oh, this is Nigeria. You have beaches in Nigeria. Oh, this, because there are a lot of video, all thanks to Nife Agbeyemi. I had a lot of his video in 4K, showing just a little, because we have a lot of places. And there are beaches, there are this. And when I finished, one person was not satisfied.
Do you know?
She said, what about this thing you not talk about? And I'm like, what?
What about Makoko?
Everybody was looking at her. She now said, what about poverty? And I was not taken aback because I was expecting that.
Yeah.
And I said, poverty is a global problem, that
Yes,
even
it
here
is a
there are
global
poor people.
Yes.
And that is the answer. What do you want me to show you?
Why I said that sometimes it's also we internalizing and propagating this narrative. I saw sometime a Chinese lady, very beautiful Chinese tourist, visited Nigeria. I think it was Obudu Cattle Ranch. Very beautiful place, and showing all the picture. And she was like, "Can you believe this is Nigeria and all whatnot?" She was actually projecting that. And then I went to the comment section. Nigerians were there shouting, "This cannot be Nigeria." And I'm like, how, like, does this even make sense?
But Tisi, think about it. When you are colonized, whether directly or neocolonialism, right? No matter the progress you make, it is difficult for you to change that narrative that is already formed your worldview. Think about you, because you mentioned China. Do you know the Chinese word for United States is a beautiful country? That is the Chinese word for the United States. However, if you go to Shanghai now or Beijing, you would see that the infrastructurally are way better than the United States.
Advanced, yeah.
But a lot of Chinese people are still dreaming of moving to the US because it has become a thing that is happening in the mind. When the mind is colonized, it is difficult to change it, right? So it's not, because when we say colonization, it's not just a physical thing, it's that our minds have also been colonized.
But
because
Nigeria
of
should stop
time-
feeding on those contents really too.
Because of time, I'm going to jump into the
Nigerians
next
push those
question.
contents as they have seen somebody.
They don't
Oh
know-
my
they don't
God,
know
a white
different.
person stepped
They don't
in
know another
Nigeria.
thing. The point is that they don't know differently.
If you're watching this video, learn and ignore that content. Don't even talk, because the more you talk, the more you push it to other
Another thing
people.
that I also do, that I think people should learn to do, is that when I want to talk about the problems of Nigeria, I do it with other Africans or other Nigerians, people who understand our history. I don't try
Because
to
others have had
I don't try to
enough.
feed white people's ego by talking about the problems of Nigeria with them, because they don't know the history, even though they contributed to that history, but they don't know it. So, but the question I have for you is that if you watched the past few weeks, I Show Speed was traveling through Africa. And every time they post a video, I see people in the US saying, "Wow, we didn't know that Africa had this. We didn't know Africa was like this." What I Show Speed did was retelling of the story of Africa from a different viewpoint. And all of a sudden, people started seeing a different Africa. I think retelling of the story is one powerful tool. But my question is, what else? What other strategies?
I would also say Africans by African, because it was more important that I Show Speed had a little African history. I think he's Ghanaian, there is Ghanaian blood. Because I would always protest if it's a white person doing that storytelling. So I love a lot of, there is an organization that documents a lot of this African and tells our story in a way that it's us, it's owned by us. There are African content creators that try to answer them sarcastically, like when they say, "How do you see money?" And you have currency, and she will say, "Oh, no, I wake up and I pluck from trees." So because when you ask a stupid question, you should receive a stupid answer.
Exactly.
Then your brain would
They
reset.
ask, do you people have
and-
real houses? Or
No. We come up from the ants hill.
Someone will ask you, how did you get to the US?
No.
we walked.
So it's I love all those creators, and that is the creators that we should support.
Yes.
I'm not going to feed on one person carrying camera around to do anything. We should go to those comments and we should share it. All those people that, like, there's this video about Agugun festival in Nigeria that is trending on Instagram. It's so beautiful and so rich, and you see those contents are not being pushed. It is our responsibility to push those ones, because we have to own the digital space through that way. And of course, this video we are shooting now, share it.
I think another thing that we can do. Are we time?
No. Just say your
Okay,
piece.
cool.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, we in the diaspora also have roles to play in terms of showcasing our beautiful, rich African culture and our civilization and all whatnot. Because I remember, even as a student back in Miami University, and even here, we are planning some cultural festival. We also invited people from other cultures to come see the beauty, try out the food. So you know that we don't eat rubbish. We have food, we have culture, we have everything. So that's one thing I feel like.
That's why I do Omenane.
If you are going to things, it is your responsibility to put a little bit of African in it, in a way that shows your identity. Because when the story will be posted, I feel this warmth in my spirit when I see you braided and not on wig.
See my own comments.
Yeah, a little bit of that here and there. When the pictures are posted, they're seeing something that identifies with that. It doesn't make you chicken out and say this is not for this occasion or this is not for this occasion.
I am going to
If you know
end
what
the
that
video,
means.
but there's something I saw on social media, speaking of social media recently, that I found funny. So this woman came and said that a woman had 2 children. The first one was a girl, and she named her Athena. And people liked the name. And then she had the second one, and the father of the child wanted to name the child Amadioha. And the woman said no.
But Athena is a god.
Athena is a god in Greek
yeah.
mythology, and you are happy with that. Oh, Amadioha is also a god in Igbo tradition, but you don't want Amadioha. So we need to decolonize our mind. And with that said, like and share this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you.
Bye. We love you so much.